Hello everybody, it's Holger Mueller here from Constellation Research, here with my fabulous co-host Liz Miller, who has a strange background. What's going on, Liz?
Well, when you got to take a trip to Venice, you got to take a trip to Venice. And by Venice, I mean Vegas. So
Exactly.
You're right across the street from Paris. It's very strange, but yes, I am in Las Vegas, at least for the start of the week, here with the good folks at Zendesk, of course, the service-focused CRM solution, who, oddly enough, Holger, they have found this thing. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's 2 letters. It's called AI.
No, really? AI has arrived?
It's AI has arrived. It's a thing. Although what I do appreciate is the folks at Zendesk have very intentionally not gone down kind of like the hype roller coaster of like generative AI will save us all. So it's been a really refreshing several days with the team here, really understanding how we're really looking at this as a combination of models as opposed to just the blanket term of AI. They approach this with a whole lot of specificity. So high five to the team at Zendesk for that. But they got a bunch of announcements that have come out last week. So with that and with the location, you're back in San Diego. And you know what? So is the news. I don't know. We're going to talk about the news now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was in Las Vegas last week for Google Cloud Next, right? The
tiny little conference.
Tiny little conference. The first time it was large, 30,000. I mean, Google Cloud Next went from fall of 2022 in New York, about a 300-400 people event on the pier. And then in spring last year, it was like even less people it felt in one of the Googleplex complexes in Mountain View, 30,000, all taking Mandalay Bay out. Good to see that traction. I mean, they're on a run, hopefully said correctly, on a runway of 30 billion per year. Thomas Kurian has never been happier, and I know them since 20 plus years, including the Oracle days. So when you're on a roll, you're on a roll, and everything is going. This was the first keynote list where I was too slow to tweet the slides. Unbelievable. So much content.
Yeah, I heard there was a ton of content. I think it was interesting because Google's certainly on a run, right? And I think specifically Google Cloud is on a run. They had a bunch of announcements, though. I know that there's going to be a video coming up after this where it's going to showcase all of our analysts who were in Vegas for Google Cloud Next and what they took away from that experience. So I don't want to take away from that. But Holger, if you were to kind of look at what you heard that was really top of mind for you from Google Cloud Next, what did you walk away being like, okay, maybe other people didn't see that?
Right. So definitely I took a cuff with me from Las Vegas, as it's still featuring now in the recordings. No, I think for me, I said the 3 things to watch out for it, right? And one is, I mean, everybody has NVIDIA GPUs these days because portable and so on, and what a story at NVIDIA, that would be a separate segment here. But the interesting thing is the TPU version 5P for performance, which is the most powerful TPU Google has done. It's the 5th version of that. They started with this internally 2013, which is over 10 years ago. And 2015, the first TPU came out for customers, and that's where all the Google native internal things run. It's the cheapest way to do AI and to run the large language models, the large translation models, everything that they have there, the YouTube suggested runs on this. And very interesting talk, by the way, from their chief scientist, forgot the name. He was saying like the starting point of this was that they realized that their current computing architecture in 2013 would only support every Android user in the world to speak to their phone for about 30 seconds. So they had to do something. They came up with their proprietary custom silicon. That's where Google really has a lead over the competitors in the cloud, over Microsoft, over Amazon, which is custom silicon designed for that purpose, and custom algorithm, which in case of Google is, of course, TensorFlow. And that's what they put into their tools, right? They call them all different Gemini versions. Gemini 1.5P, the performance model is out for that. Very interesting because multimodal meaning different input can be processed at the same time, which is interesting because it puts AI, instead of being dedicated to doing only text or generating image, but to understand multiple things which are happening around it. And that's super important because humans do this. So the benefit of this is thinking of the future of work, that the human doesn't have to be the clue, right? One of the problems of microservices, there are too many co-pilots, and the user has to be the glue between the co-pilots, saying, I'm taking this from this to this one, I'm moving this to this one. Which is very much the way we want to work, or we have to work. Not sure if you want to work like this, because that's the part of that, is the drudgery, which everybody's trying to take out with that. So overall, I think interesting progress from that side. Multimodal things are the thing. Quickly, new segment, right? Elon Musk announced the multimodal AI model Friday, surprisingly right in the same week, to be at the same time. No worries. So multimodal is the thing for 2025 to look for when we talk about AI models.
For sure. I mean, but it was interesting because right before Google Cloud Next, that there's a little rumor mill got started out of the Google machine over what Google might be looking to buy. I mean, talk about getting the acquisition rumor mill ginned up and raring to go. Nothing beats a rumor like saying you're about to go out and buy HubSpot. And the rumor was that they were looking at what might be the fit. And I think a lot of folks were looking at, there's a lot of upside to that, right? There's going to be a lot of upside for HubSpot to be working, and running on Google. There's a lot of upside for how much data that a marketer might be able to bring in and look at that total picture of what their customer is doing. But, the big rumor mill kind of starts screeching to a very squeaky halt when you realize just how few regulators are going to be really excited about the possibility of Google actually buying HubSpot. And so I think it's one of those things of we're going to have to wait and see. But it was really interesting to see just how many people didn't realize how much Google still depends on advertising. That yes, it is still 80% of the company's revenue, everyone. People were saying no, there's so many people at Google Cloud Next, there's 30,000 people here. And I'm still represents 11% of their revenue. So it was really interesting. But, I think the reality is that Google, like a lot of organizations, after a year of austerity and after a year of a lot of people investing in trying to figure out where their organization is going, they're starting to look at those acquisition engines again. And so right after we lived through, is Google going to buy HubSpot? We heard the big one of Salesforce is eyeing an acquisition. And it's a pretty big one of Salesforce eyeing Informatica. What do you think about that one?
I think people seem to be ho-hum. I think it's very interesting. I come from the CM world, as some people might know, right? And nothing happens in the real world if it happens in CRM. You create a customer. Do you think that customer will ever be something said to? No, it has to go in the ERP system. You create a lead, you do an opportunity, you win it. It will not be delivered, right? Even the salesperson who wins the deal will not have their commission being paid, right? So nothing happens in the real world if it only happens in CRM. So CRM needs integration. Integration can be done, but integration is expensive, it's lengthy. And the integration player out there, who is used to call them the seven dwarfs around Cinderella integration, and they're all dancing to make integration happen. Informatica is one of the key survivors of that, and they have the largest proven multi-year integration library to any other system. So it will significantly reduce implementation times for Salesforce, and time is money, and make also the integration of these things, which can be brittle and break, and when they break, nothing happens again. Your CRM system is great, but nothing happens in the real world. No company can afford to have that being done. So that's a significant advantage. So to me, it makes sense. Plus, we know Salesforce relies on shoot-in-the-arm external revenue from acquisitions. They haven't done many acquisitions. So it will give them another 4 years, if it goes through and being paid for, of incremental revenue, where unfortunately often the investors and analyst company don't lift up the carpet and say, all right, 80% of that, it was the Informatica revenue. And it's less than it used to be, right? So that's the interesting part.
When I first heard it, I'm not going to lie, I kind of was scratching my head because I didn't necessarily think that this was a big enough gap to try to fill with this big of an acquisition, right? Because when you think about Salesforce and when you think about certainly on the integration side, when you start to think about the data management side, you automatically start to think about MuleSoft. Right. So if you are sitting there and you're pretty happy on MuleSoft, if you've been doing all those integrations, why does MuleSoft need to go out and buy Informatica? From that lens, it got a little confusing. But if you start to look at the data management side, Informatica writ large, right? Don't look at it from a MuleSoft perspective, but look at it from a Salesforce perspective. I think this falls in line with where Salesforce has been heading, not just with a couple of their acquisitions, but I would say more importantly, with how they are re-architecting a lot of their primary clouds and stacks. stacks.
Exactly.
Right? So when you start to re-architect on the Power Platform, when you start to re-look at where kind of the entire platform is integrating, the biggest piece they also have to integrate is that data, right? And Data Cloud was certainly that good first step, and you have that architecture and you can start moving in that direction, but you need a heck of a lot more. And I think that that's where we're starting to have those questions. So I think that, now you have those movements of Marketing Cloud is aligning, Sales Cloud is aligning, Service Cloud is aligning. So you're really aligning all of these things. And while you might have the nuts and bolts aligned thanks to MuleSoft, now, how are you aligning everything else around that data strategy? And I think that becomes the really interesting Informatica question. I think that the bigger question is this the right time for it? And, everyone's going to come back to the, okay, but then, what happens with Slack? I think everyone keeps going back to that one. Like, oh God, are we still trying to figure that one out? Or are we just going to ignore it?
Yeah, but to expand what you say, right? Interesting enough, last week, David Schmeier, who's in charge of building the next generation applications of Salesforce, had this kind of like visionary talk. Not that he told us too much, right? But they're going to build those in the cloud, on the Power, whatever platform it is. Name escaped, shame on me right
Lightning.
now.
Is it Lightning platform?
Cloud-based on the data cloud, right? Data cloud for AI, and the data cloud needs data. So if I want to do correct AI as a CRM vendor and I do not have the ERP data, I'm screwed.
Right.
Yeah. Because again, my CRM data is not enough to make something happen in the real world. I need to have the ERP data. And MuleSoft to Informatica, yes, MuleSoft tooling. If you and me had to do an integration from Salesforce to say number one SAP ERP system SAP, it would be probably better. No offense to the Informatica folks to get it done. But if I want to have this out of the box and pay a monthly fee for you to maintain it, Informatica has 10 plus years of experience to no matter what SAP backend version system, whenever that gets upgraded, will be there. And that's the value of Informatica for Salesforce in my view.
Yeah, absolutely. But it also then raises the question of like, what are people eyeing next, right? Because I think a big theme that a lot of these acquisitions start to talk to is how quickly can we accelerate this data engine with as little pain as possible and as little cost as possible. Because I think that's the other thing that people are really beginning to kind of have that eye-opening moment of is, this isn't cheap, right? None of this is cheap, and we want to, we want to experience all those things. So I think it's going to be a really interesting acquisition season. But I think we're going to have to kind of dig a little bit deeper than maybe what some of the acquisitions have on the surface and what people are saying. Like, oh wow, these are so big. I think it's going to be kind of what is it under the surface that they're trying to put together, and what are those gaps and those missing pieces? And I think a lot of it is going to come back to the data. What's up next for you, Holger? Where do you head off to? What's top of mind for you in the next coming weeks?
I have to leave San Diego for 2 trips to the Bay Area. This week it's Workday, last of the Innovation Summit is now the AI Summit. I believe it is the last week of it for sure. So that's this week, and next week's back to Big Red. Oracle has both their double dipping in the database and the HCM applications ERP.
That's right.
Next week. So,
yeah.
How about you?
Oh, I'm going to go see the folks at Avaya and hear what they've got going on. So I'm excited to hear about that, because I think that their customers have come through the long streak of that they've settled down. They know how to kind of do some of the cloud over the top of their on-prem solution. So I think it's working out for a lot of customers, and I've been hearing some good things. So interested to talk to more of those folks and get a little more insight into what's happening there than Conga. And then I get to go visit I get to go and spend a little time in Content Land. I'm going to go talk with the folks and see some of the customers over at Brightspot. So looking forward to that. We're going to have a good couple of weeks. But listen, we have gone way over in talking about the news and all those things. As I said, we do have a great wrap up coming up that's going to be kind of everything that you guys saw at Google Cloud Next. There were a lot of you there. So we're going to spend a little time there. I might come back and tell you a little bit what I'm doing here. And it's just going to be a lot of us talking, everyone. You're used to it. You know what comes next. Thanks for joining us on CRTV. And now away with Google Cloud Next, yeah?
All right. Hi, everybody. We're at Google Cloud Next in the Analyst Room here in Las Vegas. And of course, we've got our entire team here, from Chirag to Holger to Doug, and of course, Andy Thurai with an AI. So anyways, we're covering all things cloud, all things AI, all things data, all things security, and we're going to share some viewpoints. Chirag, what did you see so far?
It's all AI. You cannot actually go beyond 1 minute without hearing AI. And security is not very different. There are a couple of things that are going on the cybersecurity side. One is AI is making cybersecurity sort of more accessible, which is using things like copilots and assistant, where you can find insights very easily, looking for needle in a haystack kind of a scenario, looking for things that you didn't know before. And the second is there's a sort of convergence going on between the different offerings that Google has. And one of the offerings, which is on the detection and response side of the thing, and what happens once a breach occurs. And the second offering is more looking at your command center and what's going on, and what are some of the assets you have and how they are, what's the threat that you have. So there's a convergence of those signals, and AI is making it easier for analysts to secure system and making it easy for people to consume what is going on.
So agents are the future, or do we go beyond agents?
Well, agents are making it easier things today, but the future is definitely beyond agents.
So it's going to move beyond agents. Okay, very cool. What's going on, man, on the cloud, public infrastructure, other areas?
Next generation applications, right? I cover where companies want to build their next modern applications in-house. And for that, the first thing is it a modern cloud that they're building on? And Google has provided significant things here, despite what Chirag said was right, it was all about AI. Not the next way to do, a new way to do cloud, which was the motto of the conference. We didn't hear much about that. But from overall like sovereignty, pieces which can be done from the attractive of a platform, significant advances here. And then it's all about, is it the right platform for putting my AI on top of? I've been saying before, Google has a 2-3 year lead on the competition in putting custom silicon on custom chips. That has been reconfirmed with the release of the TPU version 5P and E, which is significantly more powerful to run these models. Google runs all their internal models on that. If you love NVIDIA for some portability, they struck a deal with NVIDIA to bring a special machine in fall to Google Cloud from that perspective. And they released their first ARM chip if you're caring for energy consumption. So overall, broad push on the AI side with no surprise.
Did you like the fact you could make your own choices on chips?
Well, I think it will be the workload. You will not do your own choices, but you will do your own choices in terms of your code assets. If you want portability, you have to go to NVIDIA because you can run NVIDIA everywhere on the other clouds. If you want to save some energy and save some on your bill, you have to go to ARM. And if you want to do the same things like Google does, you want to have probably better performance and better cost, you go to the TPUs.
Very, very cool. What are you seeing on the data to decision side, Doug?
Well, continuing on that AI theme, big push on Gen AI capabilities here. Comprehensive push of Gen AI capabilities into all of the database services. So deep and broad across the whole portfolio, vector embedding, vector search, LangChain integration across all the database services. But I think the bigger, more strategic message is that we have one AI-ready data platform in BigQuery, tight integration with Vertex AI. So it's not just Gen AI, it's ML. It's Gen AI, it's analytics with the Google semantic modeling engine, and also the ability to bring it all together, not just for structured data, but also unstructured data, video, audio, text, image, and correlating that with what's going on in the structured data. So I think a really strong message. Wonder if the reach is a little bit beyond the grasp at this point, the stuff on the unstructured side. Very new, we can't just wave a magic wand and bring all this information together and bring insights together. That's going to take some time and some maturation.
Very, very cool. Andy, what are you seeing on the broader observability and, of course, what's happening on the broader AI side?
Yeah, quite a few things, right? So as Doug was saying, they kind of leapfrogged and then they set the stage to many other things to follow right now. There are a few things that stood out to me, particularly the context window of 1 million tokens. And then in conversation with the engineering product teams, they are ready with 10 million now. They don't want to release that. Imagine that token size. So there's nothing that's restricting right now. So it's a massive windows, and also they are building the super infrastructure that if you want to train a massive LLMs, they have the infrastructure available, as well as they have the TPUs which can challenge GPUs. The cost for doing that. But what I found more interesting than most of that is the fact that you can fine-tune any existing large language model or even the model, their own Gemini models, for a few $100, That's massive because every other vendor I speak to, you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars to fine tune. This one is like a fraction of a cost, which means it'll allow you to distill the models. It'll allow you to retrain the models. It'll make you customize to the level you want. And then of course the Gemini Code Assist and the Cloud Assist. For the SREs, there's so many announcements they made on the AI side. I think a lot of other vendors had to do a lot of catch up now.
No, that's a big thing.
And the grounding with Google Search, right? If you can't find it in Google, it's not real. Right, the ability to ground with Google Search what's running is a huge announcement.
That's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah.
And not only ground on Google Search, you could also ground it on your enterprise data too. The combination of that, which is pretty big.
We basically have one application, one stack, one AI stack that's available to everybody.
Right.
Whether you're doing training, whether you're actually bringing the data in, where you're actually sharing the models. You're basically, it's probably the only full stack right now.
Right.
From one vendor.
From one vendor,
And
yes.
it's also an open stack in a very, very weird way, which is some of the things we saw.
And also with their model garden, they're trying to open that up so they can bring bring in the models, put it in there, and then you can do what you want with that.
Yeah. And it's the three things: first party, third party, and open source. So not just because innovation doesn't just come from Google, it comes from all over the place. So being open to partners, it's very important for cybersecurity because Google has done a lot in terms of cybersecurity year over year, but there are many partners that are out there who are doing equally amazing things, if not more amazing things. And it's important that the ecosystem remains the way it is and it continues to thrive. So being able to have a common platform, which has all the AI models underneath and multimodal capabilities, and when you actually bring all your data together, ecosystem, it really helps the ecosystem to actually build on top of Google.
What should customers and prospects think about in your areas about Google?
You should already be thinking about AI. If not, this is probably one of your last chances to start thinking about. We talked about our agents, the future. Agents is the present. We don't know what the future is. So agents are already here. We are seeing them in action, and they are actually helping people. We saw a number of use cases and demos. But what they should really be looking for is what outcomes they are driving. Start with a business outcome. Don't start with the technology. Technology is going to change. And make sure you design things in such a way where there will be consolidation in the market. That's going to happen. And so re-examine your tooling landscape on is it actually helping you get to the business outcome. Then think about the role of AI and the role of cloud platforms, actually, what role they play in achieving those outcomes.
I'll ask Holger the same question. What should customers and prospects be thinking about?
Yeah, if you have to do AI applications, you have to do them on Google Cloud. It's pretty clear from currently what we've seen or we heard here. So it's a cheaper way of doing it. It's the easier way of doing it. It has the right foundation model strategy where you can bring your own model, bring your own semantics, and bring that all together, like Andy said, for a fraction of the cost, right? And you have a great infrastructure for traditional application. The database side, Doug can go more into that. With very cool offerings and products there to build the other part, which you don't only need you don't only need the AI, right? You need some transactions, you need some unstructured data to run your enterprise, and it's a very attractive platform to do exactly that.
All right, Doug, what should your customers and prospects be thinking about?
I think they've thrown down the gauntlet a bit. I think customers should be challenged to think beyond the silos, the traditional silos, analytics, AI, ML, Gen AI. It's a continuum, and it's not just about your structured data. You need to tap into this unstructured data, and Gen AI is going to help with that, but you want a platform that can make use of all your data, can apply any engine to that data.
All right, Andy, what do you think as well in terms of what customers and prospects should be thinking about?
So Google's major problem is going to be the fact that not a lot of customers are in Google Cloud. They are on some of the competing clouds. Google Cloud is not the largest cloud. So for them to start using the services in here, they're going to be data migration is going to be a problem. I see that as a major problem. But as a functionality-wise, I think they had a whole suite of functionalities to offer AI, competing with any vendor. So if you're able to move to this cloud, absolutely phenomenal to use.
And we think it's going to be a multi-cloud environment anyways, right? So
if it is a multi-cloud environment, if you're using it successfully, but it depends on where your data is. If your data is going to be in a different cloud, for you to move them in here to do the training, it's going to be a little bit of a problem.
But let's not forget, right? BigQuery Omni, if you want to leave the data there, is available since 3-4 years, Doug?
2.5.
2.5 maybe, right? So let's see how mature it is. Right? You want to keep the data where it is. It's all a haze with COVID. What is it here? 2021, 22, 20, I don't know. Right? So it's available. The question is how good. Federation usually doesn't win if you want to have high service levels for artificial intelligence, but you might work around on some of the data migration.
Yeah,
It's very cool. Oh, go ahead.
Can I also add one thing? So one of the things what they're doing somewhat different is when other bigger vendors are going for the closed source bigger models, one of the things Google is trying to do is trying to do the smaller digital models that can run, nano models that can run on the phone. That's one of their major differentiations. So if you're able to create a bigger model with them, you can also distill that, creating a smaller models you can run for inferencing at the end locations, which is a major difference none of the others are offering right now.
Doesn't have to be the smartphone OS vendor #1 in the world.
No, it doesn't as well, and not have the FTC over you. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, it's wonderful. We are here at Google Cloud Next. You can also follow our stuff at Constellation R. You can follow us as well on LinkedIn on our page, and of course, every one of these analysts here. So thanks everybody, and good luck.
Hey everyone, Liz Mueller. Am I in Venice? Am I in Vegas? Does it matter? Well, of course I'm in Vegas because I can't be in Venice today, but I am here at Zendesk Relate 2024. And I just want to give a quick wrap up of kind of what we're hearing and what we've seen here from the event floor. Lots and lots of updates. I mean, listen, congratulations to the team at Zendesk. Y'all have been busy. Y'all have been busy with a couple key areas of focus, and it's really been around trust, security, a lot of movement in AI. But I would say it's really about extending what Zendesk has always been focused on, which is bringing service to the entire organization so that the entire organization can service the customer. I think it's really important to note that as a CRM, Zendesk has always been hyper-focused on that small to mid-sized business that is really looking to establish their data foundation, that data center of CRM, as not so much as a sales and transactional tool, but far more as a service tool. And now they're moving into the enterprise. You're seeing enterprise customers really start to wonder, okay, maybe this is the way we have to look at things. Maybe we have to look at that moment when a customer's experience is so critical to their lifetime value, to their entire engagement with a brand, that you have to have a CRM that's different. And Zendesk is really delivering that. But let's talk about what's new at Relate 2024. There's a big announcement where Zendesk is partnering with AWS, a familiar name in Partner Town, and Anthropic, because the point here is to tap into all the tools you can possibly tap into to make sure that AI is scalable, flexible, and available for your organization. This is especially going to be important for enterprises who are already tapping into things like Bedrock. Right? This is where folks are building. And I think Zendesk wants to be at that epicenter. And certainly with models like Claude, you're seeing this rapid expansion and choice. I think that's also a really interesting point to bring up here. I think a lot of times in service, we kind of buckle into one thing, right? We all want to talk about what LLM everyone's using. And oh my God, we've got large language models and we've got all these things. We also have to make sure that we trust them, that we know how to use them, that they're scalable and they're accessible. What Zendesk is really trying to do is provide that level of option and choice to their customers. And I think that's really important, especially if you're looking at AI that is going to be flexible and trusted. You are looking at that fast-moving, scalable resource. It's not something we've necessarily been talking a whole lot about. Zendesk wants to bring that conversation in. Now, as far as products they're offering, we saw the introduction of AI agents and AI co-pilots. There's a slight difference, but they're important. So with Zendesk, their AI co-pilots are really this proactive guide that helps human agents deliver better experience. But their AI agents are really autonomous chatbots, agents, AI experiences that interact directly and autonomously, with their customers for that kind of end-to-end resolution of problems. This is where customers are really looking at self-service, right? And this is where our end users are looking. But the important thing to note here is that right now, where we are in the delivery of all of AI is being able to insert that human into the loop when it's needed. So even with these autonomous solutions, you still see those opportunities for a human to rate, interrupt, interject and be part of that interaction, that conversation. Because there's something that was really interesting that I kind of kept hearing over and over and over here from lots of different folks at Zendesk, is that this is about removing the friction from customers' experiences and from service operations so that we can actually deliver on these promises a lot faster. And at the end of the day, isn't that what customer experience strategy is about? About reducing that time, reducing all of that energy that we make our customers go through just to resolve something that could probably be a really simple answer. So we're seeing a lot of work and a lot of Zendesk kind of iteration and innovation cycles going into that. Finally, another thing that I want to highlight from their releases this week is going to be some new QA and some new WFM solutions for those of us in the contact center. We know these tools near and dear, certainly to our hearts, with workforce management along with quality assurance. I think the difference here is that we're not necessarily looking at QA and WFM from a strictly contact center solution. We're really looking at this from a service agent. So wherever this agent is, this agent should be able to look at scheduling, look at trends, smart routing. We want to be able to have QA. We want to be able to QA 100% of our contacts and our interactions and our calls. So lots of new solutions that really for Zendesk are really more about connecting the total customer, the total human, bringing everybody into a single pane. Interesting move for them. Interesting move up market into the enterprise. Interesting moves, to simplify and make this an easier process. So that's it from me from Venice or Vegas or wherever I might be. But next up is going to be a couple trips, Conga, lots of other things coming up. So stick around. We'll have more tales from the road.
Right. I don't even know where my backgrounds went. I haven't put up my backgrounds in such a long time.
You mean 2 weeks since we did our last recording?
No, but I had my worst injuries swimming. I threw my hip out swimming.
What?
Yeah. Threw my hip out swimming.
How were you swimming?
Issues. So it rips out. So
you must be swimming like a crazy person.
yeah, I swim like a German battle cruiser.
That's so
I'm surprised there's some water in the pool when I get out. I don't know. They must be refilling it.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. In the classic Venetian room. Those
in the Veneta Tower. It's just, see here. Oh, look. Oh.
Yes.
All the different views you could have.
Yep.
Yeah, like this is the least.
All the rooms are like this in the Venetian, so there's nothing special.
Yeah, every room is this ugly.
I have a hard stop in 30 minutes, so we have to be very Liz, Holger.
On us?
Yes.
Okay. I just have to defog the glasses and then I'm ready to roll. And I don't know where my damn lens defogger sheet has gone off to.
I mean, I lost my second pair of expensive sunglasses and I have them in Germany. My dad is having trouble to send them. And since I'm fine about sunglasses again, it's crazy. The first 2-3 days are brutal and then
You're not supposed to wean yourself off of sunglasses. They protect you.
I know, but I had no other choice. My general life experience by Precision Instruments in Germany.
By Precision Instruments in Germany. There are so many funny
my chiropractor, right? So he tried 3-4 glasses, which couldn't be fixed. First time he was there in August last year. We got him glasses there. You can see through the glasses.
Hey, you know why? You know why you couldn't get decent glasses? Because you went to a chiropractor.
Oh, yeah.
Well, isn't it chiropractors who do your glasses and optometrists who do your...
Yeah, exactly. They take care of your back. It's fine.
Feel optimal afterwards. And
what the hell are you doing?
That's a new reason. I mean, I have no reason to throw stones, right? That my hair is not right, my background's not ready, whatever, right? So, but my defogger, that's the new reason.
I know, this is a new one, right? This is a brand new wine for CRTV. I can't find my defogger.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be up there with Where's My Panini? Where's my defogger?
No way. That's not up there with Where's My Panini.
I know, it's legendary, but legends build slowly and steady, right?
We have Muffin from the Bluey series. That Muffin is my companion.
Did you get something from your daughter so you don't feel lonely in your hotel room? That's what I'm saying, yeah? Good.
Muffin.
Yeah.
Yep, she was like, Muffin is my spirit animal, though. So
I remember that age. I still have my elephant.
Reagan's pissed this week because when I was here for Adobe Summit, it was her birthday. And so I was either going to have to leave on her birthday to come out for this, or we came out for the weekend. So we brought her, we flew out on a Friday. Summit started for me on Sunday, which was her birthday. We celebrated her birthday. She had a blast, but she now thinks that the Venetian is like her hotel. And so the fact that I'm back at the Venetian has her so pissed. Like she is legit irritated with me. I swear I'm almost ready. Okay. I don't know what news we're covering. Ah!
Yay.
Hannah's like, what the fuck is wrong with you two? Okay.
Ready?
That's as good as it's going to get over here. As good as it's going to get. Hot damn. Okay. Woo.